Right now on Capitol Hill, the House of Representatives is in session and is expected to vote on their next speaker at any time. This would be the second time that Congressman Jim Jordan, his name will be voted on in a roll call vote that comes after yesterday, where he fell short by many votes. We'll see if he picks some up or loses some this hour. We'll be following that action as it unfolds, and we'll bring you the updates as they happen. But now on to this. President Biden leaving Israel just moments ago as the stability of the entire Middle East hangs in the balance. It's on a razor's edge. Tensions are erupting throughout the region after a rocket strike destroyed a crowded hospital in Gaza. At least 500 people were killed, many of which were injured civilians and children. But our own president has said declaratively, based on Department of Defense data that he's reviewed, based on his meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, that it was actually a rocket from within, and a rocket fired off by Islamic Jihad that then hit that hospital. Now, Iran is threatening that time is up. Unclear what they mean by that. Hezbollah is calling for a day of unprecedented anger. Violent protests are breaking out at U.S. and Israeli embassies, and the Pentagon is surging thousands of American troops towards Israel. All of this comes as President Biden vows to stand by Israel. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Kayleigh McEnany, here with my co-host, Emily Campagno. Also joining us, Fox Business anchor and co-host of The Bottom Line, Dagan McDowell. Fox News contributor and board-certified physician, Dr. Nicole Saphier. And Fox News contributor and host of The David Webb Show on Sirius XM, Patriot, David Webb. But first, let's go to Trey Yingst, who's live on the ground in southern Israel. Trey.
Kayleigh, good afternoon. I just want to give you the juxtaposition of what's been taking place on the ground today, just moments after President Biden left Israel following those high-level meetings in Tel Aviv. Hamas and Islamic Jihad fired on central Israel, sending millions of people to bomb shelters. Sirens were sounding across the central part of this country. And in the distance, the Israelis continue to strike the Gaza Strip. Throughout the day, we've been gathering more information following that explosion in Gaza overnight in the yard of a hospital, and we'll get to that. But first, I want to show you some new reporting we have from one of the communities along the border where a massacre took place just 12 days ago, starting this war in the Middle East.
Kfar Aza is a ghost town. Pieces of life are scattered amid the charred remains of death. The few civilians still here only return to gather belongings and look for their pets.
I can do whatever I can to help and keep me sane.
What should the world know about what happened here?
I can't speak about it. I haven't realized the situation till now. Sorry.
In the distance, Israeli airstrikes pummel the Gaza Strip, black smoke spewing from the horizon before the next explosion.
I want to show you the fence in Kfar Aza. This is where militants broke in, slaughtering so many civilians and taking hostages back into the Gaza Strip.
This small community along the Gaza border was known as a paradise in the south. Special needs children would come here to play. There was a dairy farm nearby. When Hamas militants entered last Saturday, they killed as many people as possible, doing what they could to create hell on earth.
You can see here in Kfar Aza, many of the homes were burnt down by Palestinian militants 12 days ago when they entered this community along the border. Families were in bomb shelters trying to hide from the gunfire and the executions outside. And when these militants couldn't breach the shelters, they burned down the homes. You could see those explosions in the distance. Now, as this was happening, we were talking with sources inside Gaza City, trying to get a better picture following that explosion at the Al-Ahli hospital that happened last night, killing so many Palestinian civilians. And initially, I just want to take you through the play-by-play here because the information here is critical as we see what has unfolded overnight across the Middle East. We were told immediately after that explosion by Hamas officials in Gaza that it was an Israeli airstrike. We then reached out to the Israeli military. Later on in the evening, they provided new evidence indicating this was a misfire from an Islamic Jihad rocket. Islamic Jihad is the second largest faction behind Hamas in Gaza. Now, as a result, despite the evidence that we've been able to gather, protests erupted across the Middle East. In Beirut, Lebanon, outside of the U.S. Embassy, tear gas was fired. as authorities there tried to disperse crowds outside the Israeli embassy in Amman, Jordan, and the Israeli consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. The region is really bracing for difficult days to come. And tonight, new images out of Ramallah in the West Bank of protests there. Quickly, we must shift our attention to the north, though, where we're getting in new information from the Israelis at this moment. They say earlier tonight, 9 rockets were fired from southern Lebanon into northern Israel. You can hear those explosions in the distance here from airstrikes along the Gaza Strip. But in the north, the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah firing rockets into northern Israel, sending air raid sirens throughout the area and people to shelters. And we should note the Israeli military is expected to respond to that rocket fire tonight. Kayleigh.
Trey, so in 24 hours, you have this ominous warning from Iran about time is up. You have these kamikaze drones over al-Assad Air Base in Iraq. You have that hospital bombing by Islamic Jihad, as we now understand it. This is all in 24 hours. This is feeling like a tinderbox.
Absolutely, and you can see the military activity behind me. They are headed toward the Gaza border. And analysts do believe, following President Biden's meeting here in Israel today, that the green light was given for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to launch that ground invasion into the Gaza Strip. I just want to see what's going on here. There's some movement of soldiers, but you get a real sense that this is possibly hours away as troops in the buses and in the armored cars behind me continue to head toward Gaza. Once that ground invasion does begin, there's a real fear in the region that Iran could use its largest proxy, Hezbollah, to launch an attack on northern and central Israel over fears that Hamas, the group in control of Gaza, their second largest proxy, could be destroyed in that Israeli operation. Kayleigh.
Trey, it's Emily Campagno. As you discuss the tinderbox, as we discuss almost the gathering of the tide before this ground invasion, what do you feel, what impact was made, if any, of the president's recent visit, notwithstanding the fact that moments after he departed, Israel was subjected to a barrage of rockets?
So there are a few things at play here, and I want to break this down in 2 ways. One has to do with the pending ground invasion into Gaza and the possible regional response. The Iranians have made clear they're not going to stand by idly if that does take place, because, again, their second largest proxy in the region is being threatened, despite the fact that that second largest proxy committed a massacre against civilians just 12 days ago. So one part of this visit had to do with the planning and how the Americans will help Israel in the aftermath of that ground invasion and whatever response is conducted by Hezbollah from Lebanon. The second, according to intelligence sources that we've been talking with over the past 48 hours, has to do with the American hostages being held in the Gaza Strip behind me, and also the American citizens, hundreds of them, that are currently trapped inside Gaza. The Americans, including President Biden and Secretary of State Antony Blinken, are trying to work deals behind the scenes with the Egyptians and other regional parties to get the Americans out of Gaza safely. They understand once this ground operation moves forward, it will be extremely difficult to cut any sort of humanitarian aid deals or anything that would allow Hamas or the smaller factions that are holding hostages to basically quietly cut a deal and get some of those people out of Gaza. The issue at hand here, and you mentioned it there, is the tinderbox we are facing. It's no longer just a war in the south between Israel and Gaza. This is not a traditional round of fighting as we have seen and covered for the past several years. We are looking at the beginning of a regional war. And from what we can gather, and again, we don't want to guess what's going to happen in the coming days, but what analysts are telling us and the movement of U.S. military equipment toward Israel and the evacuation orders from Lebanon for U.S. citizens, everything is pointing in the same direction, and that is that this conflict in the south is going to be just the first chapter in a very violent and bloody book ahead. Emily?
Trey, thank you.